Hey folks, this is Kimberly Unger coming to you from inside AR and VR, wearing a fresh new face for the reading of the next page of my debut novel, Nucleation. If you remember, the deal is every week I'm going to read a single page from chapter 1, and I will read it wearing a different AR or VR avatar. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, what broke and where do I start? Helen waited for Ted to throw the appropriate checklist into her line of sight. She counted to 2, then 3, nothing. Ted, do we have a protocol? There is a plan for this, right? She could feel her heart rate quicken. A billion miles away, trapped in her coffin, her palms began to sweat. Working on it. 2 or 3 lists popped up as Ted cycled through, one after the other, all with names like catastrophic hull failure and venting acidic atmosphere breaches. Ted, can we run something with catastrophic in the title? It'll make me sound more like a badass. It was meant to be funny, to take the edge off her own worry. What was supposed to be a high-end, high-priced milk run was starting to turn into the kind of situation that could end with her driving moles for the remainder of her career. Ted wasn't listening, and the joke fell flat. The lists settled down, and Helen was faced with a number. No title, no designations, just a number, 9523. After each step was listed a single word, evaluate. It was a slow list. Test and assess, test and assess. It wasn't Ted's usual efficient task-making. It was a list full of fear. This is it? She didn't need to ask, but she did, just to be on record. Even when they were creche kids, Ted never operated from a point of fear. The caution alone told her just how bad the situation was. So far. See where it says evaluate? Those are our riff points. That's where we get to make stuff up if we need to. Just make sure you verbally justify each and every decision before you take action so we have it all documented. They were moving into unfamiliar territory now. A small part, a very small part of Helen's brain wished they could just go back to following the original boring checklist. Roger that. First on the list, checking hull integrity. This time around, Ted didn't interrupt. Helen opened a connection from her Waldo to the bank of glittering shards that comprised the golf ball's processing core. It was much like watching a video. She could see the data coming in, but at this level, she couldn't interact with it. That was all on Ted. The Waldo and the golf ball were isolated from one another. 2 completely separate entities, down to the eenies that built them. Any connection between them had to be made manually. Ted, are you seeing this? The numbers never lied. It was Helen's most and least favorite thing about them. Affirmative. It's like the hull never got finished. Just the facts, please. We don't do theories. I'm the one running the Waldo. I get to theorize, especially since I'm going to be making the repairs. The visualization of the outside of the golf ball appeared in her line of sight. The reason you're not getting any data from sectors 2 through 6 is there are no sectors 2 through 6. She spun the image, noting where the green lines crossed into red as numbers came and went. What? Why? That note of panic was back. More than a note, an aria of panic that Ted's voice wasn't qualified to sing. Okay, folks, that's it for today. Join me next week when I read yet another page from Chapter 1, wearing yet another AR or VR avatar from my debut novel, Nucleation, which will be out this November from Tachyon. Have a great weekend.